Hello,
Hello.
we're
We're
back.
yes, having finished Nightfire, I've moved on to another game from my childhood. This one's called Yu-Gi-Oh! The Sacred Cards.
I never got into Yu-Gi-Oh.
No, I know you always hated it, but it was something I
It's not that
really
I hated it.
not
It
being
didn't
then.
interest me. It never interested me.
When I did,
You did or it did.
I was into it.
Okay.
Um, yes, I was into it for a while, and then when I was lived in Ireland, I decided to give it another go.
Hang on. Are you playing as Yugi?
Now I'm playing as me.
No, but that not that one. The other one. Their name's Yugi, isn't it?
Yeah, this is me.
Oh, okay. I mixed up which way around it was.
My name is Ben. But
And here I thought
yes,
it was Bob.
when I lived in Ireland, I went to a Yu-Gi-Oh card tournament in Belfast. The first time I went, it was all right. I cobbled together a deck with what cards I had, and I won two matches and lost two, which was fine, frankly, for a deck I cobbled together. And the second time I actually tried, and let me tell you, I got my ass handed to me. I felt like such an old man, all these 11-year-olds summoning like five monsters in one turn, and I was just sitting there going,
So what you're saying is that you had better success when you didn't min max yourself.
yeah.
Oh well. That is why I never really planned what I was doing when it came to Pokemon. Because I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I was having fun and it all went well.
Mash the A button.
Yeah, basically. All for B button.
So the gist of this game is there's a tournament and it's going to get hijacked by terrorists, kind of. And we defeat the terrorists through the power of Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yippee Mr. Falcon.
Yeah, what? Yes.
It's from the TV edit, isn't it?
Oh, right.
Yeah, it's a really famously fucked up TV edit of the Die Hard 2.
But, yes, and I quite like this game, though it was regarded as very too easy and too short, and regarded in a C resulted in a lot of people complaining about it. At which point, Konami, the company behind this game, said, "Oh, you think that was too easy, do you?" And they released a really hard game, which I will play at some point, but I'll be playing it with cheats because it's
Was it
better.
called was it called Dark Souls?
No, it was called Rechef of Destruction.
Ooh. Not liking the transition from screen to screen.
Oh.
You're doing it deliberately now.
Mhm. So, yes, now I just want to. The mechanics of this game aren't exactly the same as proper Yu-Gi-Oh. There's a
I
type.
wouldn't know.
There's a type chart which does not exist in proper Yu-Gi-Oh. So there's two different sort of things to consider. Um, Fire beats forest. Forest beats
Makes sense.
wind. Wind beats
Makes sense.
earth. Earth beats
Makes sense.
thunder. Thunder beats water. Water beats fire.
This all makes sense logically.
Then dark beats light. Light beats fiend. Fiend beats dreams. Dreams beats dark. And this is another aspect of this game. You can wager cards, uh, and if you do so, you get a card back.
I've got a four of clubs.
So yes, we're just going to get right into it now. And I will. There is one more mechanic I'd like to go over. I should have discarded something. Oh well. But hey ho.
Yeah, I
Uh,
don't really know what's going on here.
that's it. Well, I'm summoning monsters and using them to destroy monsters, and the goal is to get your opponent's life points down to zero.
Okay.
So that will be the gist of the next however many videos.
I'm sure this will
Uh,
be a hit.
Probably not.
None of our videos really are in the grand
Well,
scheme of things.
I mean, Nightfire Part 1 did alright, and then by
Well,
which I
yeah,
mean
but
people were interested in the video, clicked on it, found out it wasn't very good, and never came back.
yeah, I have had as you know, I've spent a bit of time actually working with our YouTube
Yeah.
over the course of the last few days, and um the viewer like the period of time on average people spend watching is quite telling.
Yeah. But you're going to get that
What
with YouTube. I mean, most people don't most views you get will be from people who thought the topic was interesting or the thumbnail was interesting. They'll watch a bit of it and think this isn't for me and bugger off.
Yeah.
We got a thunder snail. Right. Now, I very quickly. So, you see, we've got deck capacity and duelist level, right?
Okay.
So each card, so it's got a cost. You see, so each card has a cost. You can't have a card in your deck that's has a higher cost than your duelist level. It won't let you put it in, and you can't fill your deck capacity up. We've got a fair bit to play with, as you can see, 1,229 out of 1,605.
So hang on. So that number, that 102 there, is how much space in the deck it takes up, as well.
That's just the number of the card.
Oh, okay, fair enough. So you can have a possibility of like 400 more cards to put in, but you can only use 14 at a time.
Yeah, your deck can only have 14, but you can have as many cards in your trunk as you like.
You started with a lot of cards, which
did.
isn't all like Azak or Gwent.
I don't know what that is. No, you've had enough. We've only just started.
Well, Pazak is the card game from the what do we call it? Knights of the Old Republic games, and Gwent is the card game from The Witcher.
Right.
Which I've still not played Gwent at all. I keep meaning to play The Witcher games, but first one was shit, and I do want to kind of do them in order.
Have you seen the Witcher TV show?
I watched the first series of it.
Is that good?
Well, I enjoyed it, but I didn't really know what I was getting into until I was watching it. You know, I had no preconceptions. Obviously, I know what Henry Cavill was like.
Yeah.
And I don't mind a bit of high fantasy every now and again, but you know,
I'm not really a fantasy person, truth be told. And some fantasy does appeal to me, but
adhesive tape.
Yes, House of Adhesive Tape.
That's got to be cheating.
It's not cheating; it's a trap.
So hang on, did you activate their trap card?
No, he activated mine.
Oh.
Fuck you, bad.
It's basically the only thing I know from Yu-Gi-Oh! You've activated my trap card. And that's it. And that's fine because I never had any interest. I never expressed any interest prior. So
okay.
you know, I feel like my lack of knowledge is perfectly justified.
Well, this is a game I first was introduced to me by the same person who introduced Heroes of Might and Magic to me. I got it when I was in America, of all places, in a dual pack. This and its sequel. This one is much better. Let's have some curry.
Curry?
Yeah, curry. It makes me feel better.
Speaking of shit.
Yes, and I played it quite religiously. I have a save file on my DS I sometimes dip into. Fuck. See, that's the type chart in play. I had more attack than that thing's defense, but it still beat me because it's light. But unfortunately, I've got a dark monster, so I beat it.
Because that's how this works. Do you want to know what I've been up to since we last gamed?
Go on then. I can hazard a guess, but I'd rather not use that sort of language on here.
Go on, have a guess.
Pornography.
Not as much as you'd think.
That's still a lot.
Well, no. In the week, literally a week since we last recorded, I've watched 5 movies, 3 TV series, and recorded 5 videos by myself for the site YouTube.
5? I thought it was only videos. 3.
No, I told you yesterday, but I've done another 2 more, and that makes it 5.
I thought that was porn.
No.
Right.
So I've ended up for the next 5 Fridays, tomorrow included. Although I understand it was 2 days ago for anyone watching this on release day. For the next 5 Fridays, there's a solo video going up.
Yeah, Jordan's done a Yoko or a John, and he's fucked off.
Well, I'm still here, huh?
See, my duelist level is below the cost, so I can't put that in my deck. But I'm level 87. oh god, all these whiny people who've been beaten like 2 minutes in to this tournament.
Well, you know.
Weak.
So yeah, I've been busy.
Good. How have you found it? Has it been interesting?
What, the busyness or the?
Making videos on your own.
I tell you what, the most annoying part of it is the waiting for it all to render and upload.
Yeah, that's why I tend to just I do 3 at a time, and then I just leave it and forget about it and do something else while the computer's going on with it.
Well, I used the time to obviously it would have slowed the process down a little bit, but I used the time to watch some of those TV series.
Well, but it helps that I have a
Multitasking.
better computer, I suppose.
Well, I don't think it necessarily. I think it's the internet is my issue.
Mm.
But it didn't help that the first few videos were coming out in FLV format, and the editing software I was using, if you can call it editing, was coming out in MP4, so it's having to convert.
Right.
But I've adapted that now,
Well,
so
one of the,
that's
one
not
of
an
the
issue.
things that slipped me up when I made my first video for soap study is that I was editing in one format, like 920
Yeah,
60 or whatever. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And exporting in another.
You see, I've deliberately told them all to export in the source format.
Yeah, that
So
it'll fuck you with that because your editing will be out of sync. But yes.
yeah, thankfully. But no, it's been quite a productive week this week.
Remind me what you watched the Predator films, didn't you?
Yes, I watched one, two, um, The Predators, or no, Predators and The Predator, and then I watched Prey, which I wasn't going to do,
What do you think of
but
Prey?
I liked it.
Good.
It has, in fact, inspired three different topic points that I have for today.
Oh, wonderful.
Yes. First off,
No, sorry, I just want to say I fucked myself over here because Witch's Apprentice increases its effect increases dark monsters, but it lowers light, and I happen to have a light monster, and I didn't realize. So yeah. Anyway,
you
topics.
silly bugger.
I a silly goose.
You silly bugger. No,
Oh,
I realised having now watched all five Predator films that currently exist,
yeah.
that aren't crossovers, I've realised what the weakness for the for what their weakness is.
Okay.
I've completely, absolutely, categorically worked out what it is. I can prove it. Do you have any guesses?
The weakness of the Predator.
Yeah,
Um, their
or the
sense.
Yautja, I believe is the
Yes,
technical
their
name.
sense of morality,
Nope,
of honor.
nope. Well,
Uh,
maybe. I suppose it would probably be an extension of that. I wrote it down as not knowing when to call it a day.
well, that would be a sign of weakness.
Well, I mean, it is their weakness, is that they can't call it a day. You know how Marty McFly, his issue was that he would always react if someone called him chicken.
Mm.
Yeah, well, these guys see someone that they think is a worthy human and they've got to go around and kill them. And invariably, that gets them killed pretty much every time, right?
Well, it's worth it, you see, isn't it?
Is it? Is it?
Well, that's the point. It's an honor thing. It's
Nah, as far as I'm concerned,
well, sometimes the animal wins. And that's fine. That's the thrill of the hunt. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. That's the way it goes.
well, all I know is that I think that they're fucking idiots because they've always had a successful hunt, and it's always that one extra person they want to kill that fucks them. It's always that one extra person that they just have to kill,
Well,
that kills them. It's like it doesn't matter what film you're talking about. They just couldn't leave well enough alone for that one person.
it's a thematic thing, isn't it? But
Well,
it's like, oh, I'll just hunt this one more antelope. What's the worst it can do? And then it
well,
fucking
this
impales
is
you.
how I always end up screwing over in. Whenever I play a MOBA, it's always that one more wave of creeps that I'm going to kill, or one more hero that I'm going to try and get, or one more hit in the tower. But
Mm.
it's always that gets me. Whenever I play it safe, I live. Whenever I just take a little bit of a chance that I know it's iffy, I know it's iffy. but I do it anyway because I'm a fucking idiot.
Oh, but
And so have the Yautja.
where's the fun of playing it safe? I think that
Well,
you just
sometimes.
fundamentally misunderstood what they are. I appreciate that if they did that, they'd get away scot free, and I'm sure a lot of them do that.
They
But
could live to hunt another day.
well, yes, but it's about honor. That's why they reward things that give them a difficult hunt. That's the appeal of it.
There's a
Arnold
there's a
Schwarzenegger.
reason.
Arnold
There's a reason we're the
Schwarzenegger is
most dangerous game.
Arnold Schwarzenegger is lying down and taking it. That means he's worth more cultural points.
Okay, but like he survived a fucking nuke.
Who did?
Arnold.
No, he didn't.
Well, they were describing it as being powerful enough to level. I think it was 30 city blocks, and all he did was dive behind some trees. So excuse me for thinking that he basically survived the nuke.
Well, the terrain of those jungles, there's lots of places to sort of crawl away and hide in.
All I know is that LA is a concrete jungle.
Yes, it is. That's the point. Well done. Um,
That was very patronising.
no, I was
No,
going
but
to
it
say.
was. It was.
Well, yes, it was. I was going to say something, and now I've forgotten it.
Good, because I've still got 2 more points on this.
Yes, I wanted something to say about it. What was it? Oh yeah, I was just going to make. You've heard that theory that all of Arnold's films are training programs for the Terminator, right?
No, but it makes sense.
Yeah, all of his action films, and then all of the soppy stuff is for Terminator 2 when they reprogrammed him.
So where does relaxed action hero fit in?
That's a soppy one. Well, it's both,
Is it?
really, I
Because
suppose. But it
Charles
does.
Dance's in that one.
Yeah, but he's looking after a kid, isn't he?
Yeah.
Isn't that his
Yeah, I
whole
suppose he
mission
is.
in the second one?
Is that the one where he learns about breasts?
Oh, probably. I don't know. God, I hate that.
There's one of them where he sort of learns about breasts. I don't know. It's been a while since I've seen most of them.
Right.
Yeah. So one of the things that they did in Prey that I quite like, and they did it in Predator as well, to be fair, is they had foreign language, but they didn't put subtitles in for it so that we knew what it meant.
Mm.
And that's something I quite like in films. I quite enjoy there being the sort of level where if I want to know what it means, I need to know what the language is and understand the language, right?
Yeah.
And there's something very real about that, at least for now, until we all end up with whatever the future day equivalent of Google Glass is, and we've got literal live translators going on in front of us. But until then, I quite like that sort of situation.
Yeah.
Can you think of a film where the plot was spoiled if you knew the foreign language?
I know there is one. I'm sure I've heard about this. The Thing.
Would it help? It is The Thing, yeah. The Norwegian helicopter pilot at the start of The Thing
Don't
is
take it
basically
in.
telling
That
them,
dog isn't a dog. It's a thing.
yeah, pretty much. That's the gist of it. And that is something absolutely fantastic that I think. I mean, that is the last of the points that John Carpenter's The Thing is the last note I've got on this generic topic. But no, I think more films should do that. And to be fair, there's probably more films that do that.
Well,
But
you know what I think would improve both Predator and The Thing?
I've not seen The Thing, so
Well, The Thing opens
I'm.
with the Thing spacecraft crashing in the Antarctic, right?
Oh, okay,
And I
yeah.
know Predator opens somewhat similar, doesn't it?
Uh, Predator opens fairly non-alien like.
Right.
It's only really if you take the thermal vision that we get as being a sign that this creature is an alien, this
Right.
thing is an alien, but you know it's an alien until they start shooting it up and it glows green with blood.
Well, yeah, I think The Thing, if you didn't know it was an alien, if you didn't know aliens were involved in this thing, just sort of happened one day, you know?
Because I think that's one of the things that Predator does well is that unless you take the thermal vision to mean it's an alien, you don't know it's an alien until about halfway through the movie, right?
Mm.
Because that's we were talking about it while I was watching it. There's a flip between it being an action movie and it being a sci-fi movie,
Yeah.
and that change worked. It worked in Alien when it became from a sci-fi into a horror.
Yeah.
It worked here when it became an action into a sci-fi.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you sound deep in concentration.
No, oh fuck's sake. Yeah, I'm just sort of beating this guy, but I agree with your points. Um,
Do you want to know what else I watched?
yeah, go on.
I watched 3 series worth of American Horror Story.
How many series is that now?
There are 11. I watched the ninth one today.
Right.
So I am 9/11ths of the way through it.
One of my colleagues, her husband was born on 9/11.
The 9/11.
The 9/11. He was born a few hours later when he'd sort of was ready to give to mother. They turned the TV on and one of the towers was on fire.
Oh, Christ.
There's a good chance I might lose this.
Well, you had it coming if you do.
Uh, but, yeah.
How does it feel knowing that? Did you say colleague's husband?
Yeah.
How does it feel knowing that a colleague has a husband who was born on 9/11? And we were old enough to remember it happening.
Yeah, so vaguely. I remember being walked to school the next day.
I don't remember much about the next day. I just remember that day, bits of that day.
Mm.
But we talked about this previously in a previous video. So if you want to find it, viewer,
Did we?
go find it. Yeah, we did. Yeah.
I've done so many at this point. I haven't seen you before, Last Warrior. Where have you been?
Hiding. I don't like hiding. I don't like conflict at all. What did you say it was called?
The Last Warrior.
Well, that's why you've not seen it. You've not needed it. You've been dealing with the first warrior and the second warrior, and the second from last warrior, but you never had the last warrior before.
Well,
One of the
sorry, go on. No, you go
on. One of the series that I watched of American Horror Story was Apocalypse, and it had something that really surprised me, and that was a robot Kathy Bates.
Right, I thought you were going to say, what's the face off of Dynasty? Joan Collins.
She was in that one,
Yes,
yes,
she is.
as two different characters. And
Fuck, we have lost.
that caught me off as well. But
how
no,
am I meant to beat that?
you're not.
Glory.
Type advantages then.
Oh yeah, instantly. There is a divine type. Divine types have no weaknesses.
Oh well, sucks for you, isn't it?
Right, I'll duel this guy, and then we'll shifty around our deck a bit.
But no, they had robot Kathy Bates, and she was robot in the way that they are in the Alien films, in that she led milk.
Okay.
She literally gets exploded at one point, and when she is exploded, she has some last words. Can you guess what they might be?
About Schmidt was a mistake. I don't know what.
It was Daisy Bell.
Oh, for fuck's sake! That's
Yeah.
her last word, Daisy Bell.
No, the
The
song.
song. She did do the song.
Yeah,
Well, they like the homages, don't they?
they do. And I was wondering, whilst watching the latest one, which was 1984, at what point homage becomes imitation? Because the entirety of, I feel like that is a homage.
When you
or a
say
reference or
imitation,
whatever.
do you just mean copying?
Yeah, yeah. At
Because
what point?
imitation is pretty vague a term.
Okay,
I think.
let me explain
Look.
why I was thinking this, because obviously I would say that is a homage.
Hmm.
Like it's a reference to something that we will recognize. It makes sense. It's vaguely inspired what's going on. I get it. The next series, the one that I watched today, is 1984,
Yeah.
which is basically Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
Basically, the plot to Friday the 13th unfolds. There's a few twists and turns along the way, but the setting and the basic serial killers killing people, killing camp counselors, and there's a pissed off mum, and someone literally got dragged into a lake by a zombie kid, like shot remake of the one from Friday the 13th. And what like that feels like it's gone beyond homage to me. They have just copied it, right?
Yeah.
where do you think the line is?
I think you don't go overboard with it. It's there for people who notice these things.
I think it's the subtlety, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
But
the sort of thing you see and you go, oh, I recognise that reference, rather than stealing a wholesale thing from it.
yeah, I've seen this before, or I recognise that are two slightly different, aren't they?
Yes, it's not.
Uh,
Hey, remember this thing?
it's hey, I hope you don't remember this
Yeah.
thing because now we're doing it. But yeah, that was a. I mean, I think the series still worked, um, but it was a shame that. I mean, the previous the Apocalypse series season 8 was, I think, hampered by the fact that they were drawing in through different series plots to make it work.
Mm.
Well, two and a bit really, because Hotel wasn't that important to it. But like, it felt very much like they were trying to finish it, like it could be an end. And until it's an end, you shouldn't really do that, you know. And 8 wasn't an end at any point because it got renewed to season 9, so it makes no sense to me.
Well, I'd rather have it end sort of prematurely and start new stuff than assume you're going to get a new series and it falls through and you don't get to do that.
Well, I mean, they did that, and then they did the properly original plotline. Although there's a lot of Omen stuff in it, to be fair. And there's a point where one of them is like, I don't know what to do. Maybe I'll blah 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 blah, and it's basically the plot to Omen 3. And they do call it out as being the plot to Omen 3 at the time, and say it's a really bad idea to do that. But you know, I think it's funny that they did Omen, considering I've been watching them as well. You know, I looked. There's currently 52 scheduled posts.
Gosh,
52 of them.
and they're all yours.
Yep, all mine because you've not written something on there for ages.
I've been busy.
Didn't say you weren't. Wasn't a critique. It was a comment.
Do you want to know something interesting that happened to me today?
Yeah, if you want.
I got a job
If you want to
interview.
tell. You got a job interview.
Yes, for a job I don't remember applying for.
Oh.
Now there are a number of, well, two main theories that I have. The first is that this is something I applied for ages ago when I was unemployed, and they've, for some reason, have dug out my application and are going with that now. The
Oh.
second is that they picked me out of a one of those job library things. You know what I mean, where you put your CV on.
Yeah.
Um, but I mentioned it at work, and there was a bit of shock. I think people assumed I was, you know, looking to leave, which is nice. You sort of want that. You don't want people to go, "Oh, thank fuck." You want people to go, "Oh, what? Oh, great. Now I have to get used to somebody new." You know,
Well, I mean, how well are they used to you now?
well enough. I don't even know what this job I've been offered an interview for is.
Have they not told you?
Well, not particularly.
That's not very good on their part, is it?
Well, I don't know. I guess if I applied for it, they're assuming I know, but it was so long ago. I might email them just out of curiosity and say, "Sorry, could you just remind me what exactly this job role is?"
I've not applied for him.
Because I mean, it doesn't matter if they turn around and say that's very unprofessional. I'll be like, "Well, fuck you. I didn't, you know,
Didn't you get the current job that you're working about a year ago?
yeah,
So it's about a year since.
well, yeah, exactly."
I wonder if there's anywhere who didn't get back to you.
Sorry,
I wonder if there's anywhere that didn't get back to you.
I had it once where when I was in Ireland, I applied for a job and I got an email for an interview, and I was very interested and excited, and then I saw that they'd sent it to the wrong person,
Ah,
and I
very
thought, you know
unprofessional.
what, fuck you, you know.
Yeah, it's not your job to. If they fucked up, they fucked up, right?
Yeah. Fun fact: I used to think, what gender do you think this child is?
I think we're meant to think it's male.
Yeah, Mokuba is a guy. Um, but when I was younger, I assumed Mokuba was a girl.
Oh, okay.
I was wrong.
Well, it does happen. So you're dueling against the computer now.
Yeah,
Okay.
and judging by that, I'm probably gonna lose.
It is my turn.
uh,
That was my impression of a robot computer. Anyway.
oh, thank you.
It is my turn. Yeah.
Uh,
Have you seen those memes on the internet? The good.
yeah, I don't think they're gonna catch on, to be honest.
Have you seen the good guy Vernon memes?
What?
They are memes that present Uncle Vernon as a good guy. This being
Oh,
Uncle Vernon from the Harry Potter series.
right.
They rewrite plot to make Uncle Vernon look nice. Silly things like, um, in Chamber of Secrets when Harry's upstairs
Yeah.
because he's not meant to, he's got to keep out of the way while they've got the guests over and all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. I think the most recent one I saw was basically a reworking of that, but it had him offering Harry some pudding, but he wasn't to tell Aunt Petunia.
Oh, right. Okay, that sounds
Like,
fun.
well, it's such a ridiculous fucking concept. But I don't really know what the internet's thinking with it.
Uh-oh.
Like, sometimes it makes sense. Sometimes I can understand it,
Why
right?
can you
I
think I
don't
kept
get
hold
it.
of that?
It's a good thing.
Well, it's anti-humor, I guess. I don't know. I've never been one of those people who loved memes.
Well, it's not that I love them. I like to try and understand the meta. Sadly, it's getting harder and harder to do.
Two monsters and a mask of darkness. Right, okay, that's going to be tricky.
Are you telling me that you've got a card that's basically pointless?
No, this thing, it's a ritual monster card. So if I have a mask of darkness and two tribute monsters, I can summon a 2000 attack divine monster.
Ooh, sleepy.
Just from the ether. Uh, but I wasn't about to play that way because it would take too long.
You make it sound like there's a time limit.
I know, but I mean, there kind of is when you're up against someone who could summon something that could just wipe out your Mask of Darkness. You're better off sacrificing it for something a bit stronger, which is what I've done. Yeah.
Super Slash. It is my turn.
Right. Oh. So, do you remember way back when that chap, his name was Guy Goma, and he went to a job interview at the BBC
Ah, yes.
as a cleaner, and some runner or something, found him, said, "Oh yes, we've been expecting you. Please come this way." And they took him into makeup, which he was a bit perturbed by. The next thing you know, he's being interviewed on TV about the Middle East or something, or
It was
technology, I
about
think it was.
music.
Yes,
Music and technology.
licensing or something, wasn't it?
It's
Something
been a while
like that.
since I've seen the clip, but I have seen the clip, which is a contentious issue, I understand.
Yes. Now this came up recently. Yeah, there's a clip of this guy. Essentially, he was mistaken for somebody else and interviewed on the BBC. And God love him, he gives it his best shot and
Hmm.
basically says, "Oh yes, it's awful" or whatever. He sort of goes along with it, and because what can you even do in that situation? You don't. I suppose it's just manners at the end of the day. You don't really want to say, "Sorry, you've got the wrong person." You just say, "Yes, of course, it's yes." Um, I guess the other guy, I mean, got an interview for a cleaning job. I guess.
But you see, the thing is, and I can understand how this happened. If you walk up to a desk and you say, "I'm here for an interview," and they've got in their mind, "We're expecting this particular person for this particular interview," they might not ask any more questions.
Well, they're a terrible receptionist in that instance
Well,
because for a place like the BBC, no doubt you have to sign in, right? You got to sign in. You got to give them their name. They're probably HR has come down with a list of names for interviews, right? So you got that. You also got whoever the production manager or whatever has come down and given you right. Here's a list of people we're expecting for like proper interviews. Send them through. That's failure of the receptionist. But
yeah, I'm not saying it's not a fuck up. I'm saying it's a fuck up. I can see how it happened.
I sort of always picture it as someone being told, "Oh yeah, you know that guy who's here for the music interview. Yeah, he's just in the green room or whatever." And Guy Goma, having taken a wrong turn, is picked up and said, "Oh, you're here for the interview." He goes, "Oh yes, yes," because his English probably wasn't great.
Mm.
But yes, it was a viral clip, and
It was.
recently there's been a bit of controversy. Guy Goma is not particularly pleased. Apparently, he was on a podcast recently where he said that, um, still recording, where he said that he's going to sue the BBC. They've
Yes,
got
I
an,
heard this.
they've in his mind they've made a lot of money out of this clip and gotten a lot of mileage out of it, and he hasn't really gotten anything out of it.
See, I'm not sure how they've made any money out of it.
They haven't. They can't. It doesn't work that way.
Like that, my immediate thinking is how? How have they? Because I couldn't understand how it would have happened. You say they can't, and that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
But like he'll have to prove that they've made money out of that situation, surely.
Well, it's ad stuff. I mean, I guess I don't even know what your argument would be. That I mean, do you have any right to the footage that the BBC air?
You probably waive it when you go on, right?
I mean, did he
But then
sign
again,
anything? Did they get him after they, after at the point where they found him? Was that after the point where somebody who would be interviewed would have signed something?
I suppose it probably would be, wouldn't it?
And if he signed something, it wouldn't have been in his name, would it? It wouldn't have been
Well,
Guy Goma.
unless it's a standard waiver and
Yeah.
the name goes on when you sign it.
I hereby, yeah,
The
that's true.
undersigned
No,
agrees.
no, you're quite right. It's probably just a generic template thing that they just sign, isn't it?
It would be easier for everyone involved if that was
Yeah.
the case. Quicker, sloppier allows things like this to happen. But
Well,
organisations are generally sloppy anyway, aren't they?
well, I remember. Well, it's the nature of a big organ. There's a lot of moving parts in a thing like
Mm.
the BBC or anything. So shit
And when it's for news, they're
slips up.
fast moving parts as well.
Yes.
You gotta get shit done quicker. So
But
accidents happen.
I remember when he was a huge thing when this happened because the BBC, whatever you think of the BBC, they're usually quite on it with stuff like this.
Mm.
This has, to my knowledge, never happened before or since.
No.
They have slipped up, obviously. I remember when um, the guy who created Coronation Street, and I'm blanking on his name, which is annoying, but he went on This Is Your Life, and they showed a photo of him and a man and a woman, and they said, "Oh, this is your mother and your father," and he piped up and said, "That's not my father. That's the mayor of this town we went to on a
Mm.
holiday." It's just some random picture of a guy. I bet some assistant was fired for that. But yes, Guy Goma was really big, right? And I
Yeah.
remember he was on. Gee, I hope this creepy card shop doesn't come into play later. Our storage room. Wonder what's down there. Yeah, Guy Goma was on Big Fat Quiz of the Year. There's something that's on Channel 4.
Hang on. He was a participant.
No, he was. I think they brought him out. I don't think they brought him out to read a question.
Why was this person famous?
I
Sort
think
of question.
I think they brought him out because. Yeah, no, I think it was that. I think it was that. And then they did a little skit where he was presenting the show instead of Jimmy Carr, and everybody went, "Oh yeah, can we have Guy back? He was great."
His performance is certainly less wooden,
Yes. Um,
and I bet his laugh is more amusing as well.
Side note: I swear to God, Jimmy Carr did not always have that laugh.
I can't. I don't have a previous reference to work with. As far as I'm aware, it's always stuff like that, but I don't really pay that much attention.
I could swear that he decided at one point just to put that on as part of a bit. Um, and everybody just sort of went with it.
Well,
Which fair enough, really. I'm just gonna buy some cards that I might be able to put in my deck at some point.
I know there was someone that I used to know in college who laughed like that, and it was always referenced to as him laughing like Jimmy Carr.
Hmm.
So that was we're talking 11, 12 years ago.
I keep pushing the wrong button. But when he was on the Big Fat Quiz of the Year, there was some. He mentioned offhand that they were talking about a film,
Hmm.
and that always struck me as fucking insane.
Well,
And I think what happened was someone mentioned to him, "Oh, we can make a film out of your life." You know, someone angling just to cash in on this guy's story, this crazy thing that happened. Now, I just want to say, it's a good idea to buy traps. No, I didn't do that when
okay.
I first played this game. Um, 'Cause I wasn't very good at it.
You heard it here first, people. Buy traps.
Yeah, traps are hot right now in the market.
You think traps are hot?
Yeah,
Oh, okay. I don't know.
I know what you mean.
But do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, what do you mean? I said I know what you mean.
I know, but it's confused you, hasn't it?
No, it hasn't at
It was
all.
a
I said,
ridiculous. No, but you had to double take what I'd said there.
yeah,
It's amused me. That's the only
I'm
reason
never
why I
going to
said
use
it.
that.
The only reason I said it was because it amused me. And as far as I'm concerned, success.
Well,
I think the only successful legal argument he could possibly make, the only way he could be legally successful, is if he plays the racism card.
I don't know, man.
I think it would. I don't necessarily think I want to see this play out. But if it does, I think the only real chance he's got is if he plays the racism card and if he says, "Look, they assumed that I was the guest that they had scheduled to have on because I am black," and
Hmm.
I don't necessarily think he'd succeed with that, but it would get people's attention.
It's been so long, you see.
Well, a lot of things happen quite a long time after the fact. We're in the age of no such thing as statute of limitations, aren't we? It doesn't seem to matter anymore how long ago anything happened. People can still fucking sue for it and get arrested and locked up and criminal investigations, all that kind of shit. Which is a good thing. Don't get me wrong, but that's the kind of world we're living in right now,
Uh, uh,
and that's why any reference that we've ever made to us having committed a crime is purely comical. We have never actually committed any crimes, nor do we ever intend to.
no,
Isn't that right, Ben?
just a light bit of insider trading, I promise.
The dead traps in Ben's basement are completely irrelevant to anything. Do you even have
Yeah.
a basement?
I mean, this isn't a court of law. I don't have to answer that.
It's a serious. Like, I know there's no basements around here because there's no space for it. Like, there's
No, we
probably
don't.
ground wrong kind of ground for it.
Um,
Right, so what you're saying is that you don't have a basement.
no, I don't have a basement. No.
Yeah, I would keep that story up because otherwise they're going to find the dead traps in your basement.
If I dump a few more things.
In the basement.
Uh,
Speaking of racism,
yeah.
I I had to double take on a name that I saw in the news this week because
Okay.
I thought I had misread it, and I thought I had been racist in assuming that I'd read what I'd read.
Okay. What did you think you read?
Well, have you heard about the coup that's gone on in Gabon?
No.
The military have taken over Gabon. They've arrested. They've placed the supposedly presidential, like the elected leader, the
Yeah.
president of Gabon. They put him under house arrest. Do you know what his name is?
Um,
Got
see
to remember,
now,
I
is
thought
this just a ploy to get me to think of racial slurs?
no, it's not a racial slur. I promise it's not a racial slur. It's something that
Charlie,
if I told you that someone in Africa, their name was this, you would think I was making it up,
okay, go
and
on, tell me what
you
it
would
is.
you would you would you would probably think that I was being a little bit racist about it.
Okay.
His name is Ali Bongo.
Oh yeah, he rings a bell.
Yeah, but you see what I mean, though.
Not
If
particularly.
I'm telling you, someone told
Well,
me
yeah, I get that actually.
that
Yeah.
if someone told me that the president of Gabon was Ali Bongo, I would think that they were being racist and making a racist comment because of you know the shit
Yes.
that I've heard over the years that people have said about people in Africa, right?
Well, I have heard reference to Ali Bongo before. I know he's come up at some point, but I do see a point. If someone went to you, oh, yes, because it's led by old bloody Ali Bongo over there, isn't it? You know, that would sound a bit
Exactly.
racist. I would get.
It
I
would sound
understand what you
racist.
think.
I had to double take on the name.
Giant turtle who feeds on flames.
Now it sounds like he might be a bit of a wrong 'un. Sounds like quite possibly he may have rigged an election.
Oh, who hasn't?
Well, I was going to say, I have at
Yeah.
least 4 times. Well, actually, no, at least once, and you were involved in it.
When was this? Was it presumably for the site?
Yeah, we were reworking the name back when we had like 8 people,
Oh, right.
and I basically went to everyone and was like, "Yeah, I think we should go for this." And then we went for that, and it's still the name now.
Well, I don't know. I had a different opinion, but I don't really care. I think it's just fine. Just fine. Um,
Yeah, so many fucking weird things.
so this isn't on my list, by the way, but you know the whole furore around Lucy Letby not attending her sentencing hearing.
Mm,
Well,
yes,
there's been a lot of talk about forcing people to attend, which
there
is the
has.
sort of thing everybody basically agrees with, right? That the criminals should be made to hear their sentence and hear, victim impact statements and stuff, right?
Yes, that is that point. I just want to hone in on that point. They should be forced to hear the impact statements in the sentencing. It's absolutely something that people seem to agree on.
Yes, that is like a universally popular decision. But
Yes.
how the fuck do you enforce that?
Well, I heard a radio discussion about this a couple of weeks ago, actually. In that it was suggested that what they should do is they should pipe it into wherever the holding cells are,
Hmm.
so that they have. I mean, obviously you can just cover your ears and la 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 to yourself, can't you, if you need to?
Yeah.
But that, in theory, at least, they are forced to listen to the sentencing. It's the by force getting them into the court thing that makes me quite uncomfortable
Yes.
because I you shouldn't ever have to physically force anyone to do anything, nor should you ever physically force anyone to do anything, criminal or otherwise. But if they're causing that much of a fuss on the way in, what's stopping them from disrupting the process when they're in there?
Well, that's
And
the
that is going to cause more grief.
well, that's that. I mean, that's exactly the thing, isn't it? I get the idea of piping it into them, but I think a lot of the stuff comes from being forced to look the people you've harmed in the eye. I think at the minute I think they add years onto your sentence if you refuse to attend,
I
which
think they
obviously
can.
is
I don't think it's standard. I think they have the option to.
okay, but they don't. But I mean, that's obviously not. If you're going to prison, the whole life tariff. If your lawyers have said, "Look, we think you're going away for the long haul," or if you don't care, right? That's no incentive. But you're quite
No.
right. If I don't give a shit, I am going to prison for the rest of my life. I enjoy doing the things I did. What's to stop me from just being an arsehole and just yelling and laughing or whatever throughout the whole thing?
I mean, you're an asshole anyway, so all it would take is the laughing and the yelling.
Mm. Um, I mean,
Can I hate to. I want to come back to this very briefly, but it's the whole point of this game. You just go around, duel everyone, and then game over. Because so far, all you've done is walk around town and duel people.
well, there is a plot. as I said, terrorists take over, and we have to stop them, and the fate of the world depends on card games and stuff.
Ah, yes, Yippee-ki-yay, Mr. Falcon. Yes,
Yes,
I'm
but
with you.
I mean, you're essentially right. I mean, I hope you like this, Jordan, because I'm going to be honest, it's
How
basically
many
this.
how many videos are we expecting this to be?
Oh, I should think about 4.
Oh God.
Oh, it's
That's
such a
my
pain.
Justin Welby impression. Oh God.
Yeah. Well,
Yes. Okay. So shall we go back to Lucy
yeah,
Let Me?
yeah. I think I don't know. There's a reason. It's just see the thing about things everybody agrees on, right? Universally across the political spectrum, that haven't been enforced, is that there's usually a reason why they haven't been enforced, right? Like a
Yeah.
practical reason. Because if everybody agrees on them and there's no real opposition, they would have come into play by now.
Mm, you're not wrong.
So yeah,
I was for. I'm assuming she crossed over into serial killer territory, didn't she?
yeah, she's a serial killer.
I always forget where the line is. Is it 3 people,
I mean,
separate incidents, or
it differs. I don't know whether you can really place that much stock in the numbers, but I think it's 3. The gist is you have to have a cooling off period. So you've killed someone
okay,
and then you leave it for a period and then the urges come back and you do it again. And those
okay,
urges can be motivated by a whole number of things. A mass murderer is just killing loads of people at the same time. A spree killer is maybe over the course of a few days.
hmm
And then you can just have people who will every now and then kill for some other reason. If you know what I mean.
yeah, yeah.
They'll get multiple murderers.
I had an idea earlier
Oh gosh.
of a no. I know it sounds bad coming off the back of serial killers, but it was a story idea.
Right.
Get a bunch of serial killers, or sorry, in this fictional piece of fiction, doesn't exist. It's literally just a story idea for anyone who's listening in,
Yeah.
which is probably 2 people and Jeff,
Keith.
Keith. Well, Jeff is watching as well.
Okay.
Um, you get a bunch of serial killers who every so often meet up in a different town,
Yeah.
and they have a competition to see, using their own scoring system, who can get the most points over the course of a weekend.
Yeah.
You get bonus points if it's a cop. You get double points for if you take out, I don't know, public, like a well-known person. You get a point for every word in the newspaper article about the murder, or
Yeah.
just some ridiculous fucking technique that they use to score it all.
Yeah.
And then the loser is is killed off by them, and they take on someone else for next time they meet up, and it's like a murderers club.
What's the story?
Well, someone who is ends up becoming a part of this group by accident because they've managed to kill one of the serial killers or whatever in self-defense, and now they're part of it. Either be part of the club or we kill you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see. I've not had a proper fleshing out of the idea yet, as you can probably guess, but it's something I wanted to mention to you. I thought that was a possibly quite a sensible idea
Yeah.
for you know
Yeah.
competitive serial killers, and like it gives a whole level of it's a different level of evil to it, isn't it? Like people just killing for the sake of killing, or killing because they've got their own personal agenda, but killing for fun, like literally
I
just for fun.
I guess.
You don't get that very often, do you?
Ugh. I mean,
I mean, you don't, do you?
I suppose. I suppose. But I tell you what, I would like to see as a film.
What's that?
I would like to see, um, Predators.
Specifically, Predators.
Yeah.
So the film Predators.
I would like to see that, but with historical figures.
Okay.
Like you get the greatest.
Looked out of time.
Yes. You get like, oh, I don't fucking know.
Genghis Khan.
Yeah, Richard the Lionheart and you know, you'd have
Robin
William
Hood.
Wallace, and I guess Robin Hood, and
Rommel.
well, Rommel was more of a leader than a warrior, personally, wasn't he?
Well, I mean, all it takes is all these organisations of killers need some sort of a leader. And you also need your cannon fodder, don't you?
Mm.
This great military mind of his generation, it turns out he can't fucking defend himself because he's an aging man and he was only really good with tanks. Or was
Yeah,
that Montgomery? I always mix
that
up.
was Rommel. Rommel was known for his tank warfare.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a hint.
I
Someone has
missed it.
been roughed up by the villain of the
Oh
piece.
no,
Who's this weird guy hanging out in the park?
I don't know, but I don't like his third eye.
Is that a euphemism?
No, he had a fucking third eye tattooed on his head.
Uh,
It was glowing, Ben. It's not normal. I ain't got issues with tattoos. I got issues with glowing tattoos. And so should you.
Well, each to their own. Takes all sorts to make a world.
I I saw an advert on Facebook this week,
Yeah,
but I clicked on.
right.
It was from supposedly GCHQ,
Oh,
and it was a game.
right.
They had created a game to get you to use your brain to solve a few puzzles, help someone find their dog, and like put this letter together. Basically, a jigsaw at the end. You got to find all the pieces.
Yeah.
And it was a hey, you should apply for a job with us thing that I'm sure fucking hundreds of people have seen and clicked on and played. And it's the most ridiculous fucking thing that GCHQ is advertising for fucking people to apply to jobs with them through Facebook.
Well, it's not a bad way to do it, to be honest, is it? If you want a broad appeal, social media's the way to go.
Wow. It was a very dull game. I finished it, but it was quite dull.
Didn't like the CIA or someone used to do like puzzles in newspapers.
I know they did puzzles in newspapers in the film, The Imitation Game, which I'm assuming means that it also happened when they did it for real, the Bletchley Park and the
Yeah.
Codebreakers. But I mean, the fact it happened in a film doesn't mean it happened for real, does it?
No,
You know?
look at any number of films.
Yeah. Die Hard didn't actually happen,
No.
but it could have done. What would you do if you were in Die Hard?
I would have kept my head down.
Yep, same here. I mean, respectfully here, you're a general administrator and I'm not quite an accountant. So what fuck are you to we, right?
I would have written a letter at them. That'd have learned them, wouldn't it?
No, I'd have found somewhere nice and quiet. Hope they'd have let me sit near the buffet table.
I would have hidden the toilet and cried and cried and cried and called my mummy. That's what I would have done if I was in Die Hard.
You want me to get on a helicopter? Sorry, I don't do heights. I'm not going on the roof. It's very windy up there.
Yes. And then I would have thrown up, and Hans Gruber would have rolled his eyes as I just sat there shaking in my own piss and vomit, going, "Please don't hurt me."
You are going to clean this mess up. I will count to 3. There will not be a 4.
It's Christmas. You can't shoot him out at Christmas.
I've got a Chinese way to get home. Because you eat Chinese food.
I do, yes. I understand.
I'm establishing that for anyone who thinks that I was making some other sort of joke or comment.
Okay.
You eat Chinese food. It is your Thursday night ritual. As we all know, Christmas in 1986 was on a Thursday.
Oh, was it really? How'd you know that? Is it
I
mentioned in the
don't know
film?
that. I'm going to check now.
Well, a
What
lot of
year was
people
Die
prefer
Hard?
to eat Chinese food at Christmas. There's people who own a campsite I'm familiar with, and they went for Chinese at Christmas. So
Okay, so it was 1988,
yeah.
and it was a Sunday. But I do want to check what it was in 1986, because if it was a Thursday in 1986, then it was. I mean, it was
It
bullshit.
wouldn't have been. It would have been a Friday, wouldn't it?
I don't know. I never know how these things work.
Isn't
No, it was a Thursday. It was a fucking Thursday.
it?
It was a bullshit comment, but it was right. As we all know, December, Christmas Day in 1986 was a Thursday. So
Oh, yeah, one of
had
the
Die
second
Hard happened
chance.
2 years earlier, and we were in it, you'd have had a Chinese to go home to. I guess you wouldn't, would you? Because you've had the buffet.
Sorry.
I've seen you at a buffet.
Oh, I'm like a horny pig.
Good God.
Get stuck in there.
To be fair, the only buffet I've seen you at is a Chinese buffet.
Put my head in the trough.
Oh,
Go
what, the
num num
noodles?
num num num.
You don't want to fill up on noodles.
Spring rolls.
Yeah, you are quite fond of them, aren't you?
You say you don't want to fill up on noodles. What do you mean you don't want to? You don't want to fill up on? So I will eat what I like, sir. I never like
No,
that.
you
As if
want
there's
to get
some
your
sort of
money's
grand
worth.
strategy.
I watched Fresh Meat, and I'm telling you, there is.
It's been a while
You want to
since I
go for
saw
your
them.
high ticket prices. You're gonna pick the meat out of the noodles rather than getting just having a big old wad of it. It's been so long since I had Chinese. It must have been last November.
Oh, treat yourself. Toad Master.
I can't go
Master
much
of the
call for
Toad.
it. Got any plans for tomorrow?
Yes, I'm probably not going to edit my new soap study video.
Oh,
I am always finished that. It won't be out by the time this video is out. It'll probably be out by the time the next one is out, though. It's all about Noel
ooh.
Gordon and
Who is?
Crossroads.
We've been followed on Twitter by a fan thing of them.
I think it's because we followed them. I think it's just a mutual thing.
Well, I mean, I got the notification through today, but it's happened. So I'm
Well,
assuming you recently followed.
yeah. Well, I'll when I post it to Twitter, I'll probably share it. I'm interested to see how the fan community reacts to it, actually, because Crossroad fans are pretty diehard.
Oh,
Very
nice
protective
link
of it.
there. Nice link
Oh
there.
yeah,
Nice
yeah.
link.
Crossroads came
Absolutely
in.
deliberate.
Crossroads came in for a lot of criticism, so they're very protective of it because a lot of people write Crossroads off as really shit. Have you seen Acorn Antiques?
No,
I reference that heavily in the video.
I haven't seen half the shit you reference in your video. Where have you got a Doctor Who joke in there?
I reference Doctor Who. Yes, it's not a
That's
joke,
fine. I'll get that.
but it is a Well, I reference how I'm talking about how there's a lot of flubs in Crossroads because it was basically filmed live. And I reference how William Hartnell used to slip up quite a bit towards the end of his run. So it's not
But
a
he was
tense.
a sick man, wasn't he?
It's not a tense Doctor one.
I mean, you've got quite a few doctors to choose from.
Yeah. How many topics you got left?
About 10.
Cool. Right. I guess I'll do my last one then. Because it is on theme really. Bit of Doctor Who news. Well, quite a bit
Oh,
of Doctor Who news.
okay.
For a start, the new companion has been confirmed to be Donna's daughter,
Oh,
Rose Noble. So that's kind of cool. But the thing that really stuck
hang
out to
on,
me, sorry, go
hang
on.
on, hang on. Has it?
Yeah,
Okay, because I'd heard that the new companion is this for the. Oh, hang on. Is this for the David Tennant 3 episodes?
no, it's the I don't know his name really.
Chuti Gatwa.
What is it again? Sorry,
Chuti Gatwa,
Ncuti Gatwa.
who's coming in the Christmas episode.
Yes.
Because I'd heard that the companion was going to be called Ruby Sunday.
Yes, that may be for the David Tennant ones, perhaps. But yeah, there is Donna's daughter is going to be the new companion.
Okay.
But the thing that really stood out to me was Do you remember who the composer was for the music for Russell T Davis's era?
Murray Gold.
Murray Gold. Murray Gold is coming back.
I'm
Um,
looking forward to it.
and honestly, that's gotten me more interested in this new Russell T Davis run than Russell T Davis being involved. Because I fucking love Murray Gold's music
Mm.
for Doctor Who. You know my favourite bit of Murray Gold music?
No, what is it?
It's in The Impossible Planet and the Satan. I think there's two pieces, but
Oh, is it where the woman's floating past the window?
yeah, and there's a bit with violins as well, and it's great because it just sounds ancient. There's something about that music that just sounds really fucking old, you know. Um, so yeah, I love his stuff, and I haven't watched any old Doctor Who episodes. I say old, any Russell T David Tennant episodes, but I've seen some clips recently, and I've got to admit I got chills, which is a bit dumb in a sense, but it took me right back to when I was a kid, and I used to fucking love my Saturdays watching Doctor Who. They were very important to me, those Saturdays. Um, and yeah, I watched the bit in Daleks in Manhattan.
With
Uh,
Andrew Garfield.
yeah, where Dalek Sec becomes a human Dalek hybrid. Um, I watched some of the Stolen Earth with Davros, his speeches.
Yes,
Um,
you were talking critically of Freeman Agyeman's acting.
what do you make of her acting?
It's been that long since I've seen it that I can't really comment, to be honest with you.
Did you think
I don't,
any
I
of
don't
it
recall.
at the time?
I didn't think there was anything wrong with it at the time, but before I was really. You got to remember, I didn't really start thinking critically about things like that until it would have been, I don't know, like 2011,
Mm,
2010. And obviously, I know she was involved in um, the final. No, it was 2008, wasn't it?
yeah,
So no, it would have been before.
she popped up in 2009. She and
Yeah,
Mickey
either way,
got
it's still then.
together and got married. In a
Of course, they
case
got the
of
two black people together.
yes, pair the spares. You know, Rose and Doctor
What?
having
Harry and Margaret?
oh, very good, you. Well done, you. That's a royal
Yeah.
family reference. Good.
I wasn't entirely sure Margaret was the right choice there, but
Well, she was his great aunt.
well, I mean, it's the royals, isn't it?
Well, yes, keeping it in the
Allegedly,
bloodline and all. Um,
allegedly. Um,
he
yeah,
in his autobiography, Spare, which is sort of an autobiography, really. Um, Harry mentions the fact that Princess Margaret got him a for Christmas. Now the royals do like gag gifts for Christmas because I mean, what the fuck are you going to get someone who's got everything? Like the
a little
Queen,
novelty crown.
yeah, the Queen got some washing up gloves, and she said she was thrilled with them, and she like aprons and stuff, like silly little things that the sort. But
Yeah.
Harry describes Princess Margaret getting him a present, um, and I'm going to ask you to guess what it was. You won't get it, so there's not really much point, but I'm going to do it anyway.
Was it a prostitute?
No,
Was it a car?
no, it was a biro.
Okay.
And even for like, fairly gag gift present giving stuff, it is a bit like last minute. Like
Clearly, she was courting him
he was oh fuck. She was well, she's probably drunk and reminiscing about the old days.
back when pens were fancy.
Yes.
Yeah, well,
Back when she had her pick. Or she was on the sidelines. I'm gonna lose this one, I think.
it's about time.
Yeah. So, how are you feeling about the new Doctor Who series? Just remind me when that's back on, because I remember you telling me, don't you?
Yes, I told you last week.
Yeah.
It's meant to be in November. The next 3 episodes are meant to be in November. We're meant to be getting a Christmas episode, and then the new series, proper new series, starts in April time. April, May. It's going to be a
They're
spring
really
season.
pushing the boat out, aren't they?
Well, it's been a long time coming. They've not written consistent for a while.
Mm.
To be fair, you know, it's been 10 years since we had the last big event of Doctor Who, like in terms of episodes itself.
Remind
Like
me, what was that?
that was all with John Hurt,
Yes, the War Doctor one.
the 50th anniversary. This will be the 60th anniversary, so it makes sense that they're making it big. But also, you know, in that time we've only had like 4 seasons, 5 seasons.
Now, another little tip for this is to get yourself some field cards and put them in your deck. And the reason for that is that some people have automatic fields out when the duel starts, which means their monsters get a bonus. Later on, you'll get when we fight the terrorists, they start with an automatic field bonus. So it's good to have something to get rid of that if you can. Maybe even a couple. I'm also going to pick up. I'll get this actually. A couple of those.
I finished listening to Gulliver's Travels the other night.
Really?
Yes, or it may have been at some point during the day. Either way, how familiar are you with the book?
Well, I know about as much as anybody really that he goes to this place where he's big and everybody else is small.
Okay, that's like a third of the story.
Yeah, I know.
Maybe,
And then he
maybe a
goes
little
to
bit less.
a big place where he's small and everybody else is big, and then I presume he goes to a place where everybody is the right size.
Well, he goes to Liverpool where he's big, everyone's tiny. He goes to somewhere else where he's tiny and everyone else is big.
Yeah.
Then he sort of goes to about 3 different places in the space of a short period of time.
Right.
One
Anything
of which
interesting? Oh, go on.
one of which is a floating island,
Uh,
literally flying in the sky.
okay.
Another one is a place. No, another one's Japan. Spends a bit of time in Japan.
Oh
Nothing
my.
fancy about it. It's just Japan.
Oh,
Like
right.
of all the fucking, he's going to all these fantasy places and then he goes to fucking Japan.
Well, Japan was a bit fancy when the book came out, no doubt.
And then, even more importantly, the most ridiculous thing, I genuinely laughed because you got to remember this is audiobook. This was David Hyde Pierce. The ridiculousness of what I'm about to tell you, it
The
got to
land,
me.
land of custard.
Land of horses.
Right.
They were horse people, Ben, complete with their little horse languages.
Okay.
Fucking horses, Ben.
See, that sounds like the sort of crazy thing you can only really find in 19th century satire or 18th century satire. When did it come out?
No, it's 1700s, I think. So
Yeah, that does sound
yeah,
very.
18th.
It,
Like there was a point, and I'm not going to try and recreate it. There was a point where one of these horse people was shouting a goodbye to Gulliver as he was leaving their land. And you know that clip on the internet of that bloke, the game show host who does a really bad impression of Scooby Doo.
no.
Okay, you're gonna have to find that at some point. But he does a really bad impression of Scooby Doo, and it looks like he's sort of having a little bit of a fit
Right.
whilst vaguely making noises. And it sounded a lot like that, but
Right.
vaguely horsey and coming from David Hyde Pierce, who is a man I inherently take seriously, right?
Well, everybody
I
does.
take the man seriously because it's him.
It's Niles
But
Crane. You've got to.
exactly, but Penny was doing a horse impression, a talking horse impression. I couldn't deal with it. It fucked me over. If I'll tell you what, when I will try and find the little clip for you for when we're done, because obviously you're not going to want
Okay.
it.
I guess I have to watch that.
No, the little clip from the book.
Oh,
I'll play
okay.
it to you. Oh yeah, see, suddenly it's not so bad, is it now?
Well, even so, I'm not too fussed.
Yeah, well, I am.
Okay.
It's got to me, Ben. Horse people,
Well, it's
and
probably
like
what is you ever look up what what Gulliver's Travels represents?
Oh, he just hates people. That's what
Right.
the gist of it is. He doesn't like people. He thinks people are ridiculous human beings, and ridiculous, like a terrible burden on society and existence, purely because he's met these horse people who are so much better. He spends some time referring to humans as yahoos because that's what the human presence on the horse island is referred to as.
Is this
They're all yahoos.
is this an advert for furryism?
I don't know what the fuck it is, but either way, it's ridiculous.
You know, furries
Like,
get a hard rap, don't they?
I feel like there's a joke there.
No, they do.
Okay.
Right, let's take on this fucking dog.
There you go. No, I think it's the whole situation is ridiculous because he goes on 4 journeys, right? He goes on 4 voyages, and every single one of them meets with disaster. There's not a single point before the fourth journey where he's like, maybe I shouldn't be going out on boats. Like, he
Well,
gets shipwrecked twice. He gets put down by his own crew on another time. There's pirates a fourth time. You know, at no point has he thought maybe I'm the issue here. And he's instead thought, fuck it, I'm going to go out on a boat again. I fucking love boats.
now, fun fact about this game: you can discard things from your hand at will. Observe. Now, if you know of any card games, you're probably thinking, it might not be thinking. That's a bit of a huge advantage to you because there's card effects, especially in Yu-Gi-Oh, that say if this card is discarded from your hand, X, Y, and Z happens. Yeah, but they're not in
Yes,
this
I was
game,
totally thinking that.
so it's fine. So it would be very,
Oh,
very broken if this was an actual Yu-Gi-Oh. You could just discard at will. Um, uh,
you are kicking all these asses. Apart
yeah,
from about a handful of people who
every
think
now
of
and
it.
then someone gets in the way.
So up into little bits gets in the way.
Yeah, this was one of my favourite cards when I was younger. It was stolen from me though. I would like to hurt the person who did it. Yeah, so we have 5 out of 6 locator cards.
That means nothing to me.
If we get 6, right, they show us the location of the final and we can go there. Is the gist of that. Hang on, right, what the fuck do I do now? Here we go. Yes, this is the first of the terrorists. And they're called the ghouls. And they're after rare cards, specifically the god cards,
It looks like a brick.
which are very powerful cards that their leader wants, so he can take over the world.
See, why are these people that have got these cards not just leaving?
Why? Why won't it let me use the effect?
Huh?
That's strange. Oh well.
Kick their asses.
Right, yeah.
Ooh, using the left leg of something or other.
Of Exodia.
Ooh,
No, if he gets
fancy.
all of those in his hand, we're in a spot of bother.
Well, all the left legs.
No, all the pieces of Exodia. But he's not gonna.
Well, you already destroyed one, haven't you?
Yeah, but I don't think there's a limit to how many he can have in his deck at this point.
There should be.
Um,
There's a limit to how much stuff you can have in your deck.
well, yeah, but I mean, you can only have 3, right? But
Okay.
there is a limit that comes in later in the game, not in this game, but in game of Yu-Gi-Oh in general. It limits it down to 1 piece of Exodium in your hand or in your deck at any one time.
Well, it seems like it's kind of pointless having multiple bits of Exodia ever then. Because, like, if you only have one, you'd never be able to get them all down, would you?
I help. So we beat this douche. He walks right through us.
Have you got one of those arm things?
What arm things?
The arm things that they use for the battles?
Yeah.
I can't see it.
Well, it's in the. Trust me, we got it. Okay. Well, we can go a little while longer. See, this is a. I told you this is a short game. We've accomplished so much already. I know you won't realise it, but we really have.
Yep.
I just need to remember where we need to go. I think I remember. I think I remember. Then we just need to talk to people until somebody is going to mention a card shop where people tend to disappear.
Ooh. Freaky pantomime.
That's the weird guy. There we go. Well, this card shop, it's usually okay, but if someone goes in alone with a rare card, they'd say he never comes back out again. Well, let's investigate, shall we? Hello, I have lots of rare cards. What? Yes, I am quite strong. He wants us to see his show, and he's inviting us downstairs. Incidentally, this guy will still sell you cards. Ever the consummate salesperson.
Oh, that's good.
So yeah. It's always worth just checking. Let's just see. I mean, I could always use more traps, really, couldn't I?
Did you hear about the chess cheating scandal?
Hasn't that been going for a while?
Have you heard that it's now come to an end?
No.
Apparently, it's come to an end. Apparently,
Right.
everyone's satisfied now.
That there was
Yesterday, I
cheating or
heard
there
this,
wasn't?
but there wasn't.
Hmm.
It's my belief based on what was happening. I think there was some sort of settlement involved. But yeah, that is now something that we can draw a line under. Chess cheating
Well,
scandal.
that's a weight off my mind.
I mentioned it to my partner, and her reaction was that the butt plug thing?
Oh yeah, I remember hearing about that.
I only vaguely remembered hearing about the whole thing at all, so I'd forgotten about the butt plug thing.
As I understand it, one of the things they did was that they had as you say, a butt plug that
Allegedly,
allegedly sort of vibrated, I guess, to send them like signals.
I mean, how are you ever going to be able to discern, right? There's so many different combinations of things you could possibly need to do in chess. No amount of vibration that you're
Oh,
picking
you'd
up
be
through your arsehole.
surprised.
No amount of vibration that you're picking up through your arsehole is going to possibly be able to
Well, it's
guide
Morse code, I guess. But yeah. So this is where the
you.
what's that? Oh yeah, okay. Yeah. So in the anime,
Yep.
the English dub, this is basically the gist is that you go to the Shadow Realm if you lose this. But in the actual Japanese original version, uh, I'm going to use my field card to get rid of this dark stuff to help me a bit. Um, we're strapped in, and there's metal blades, and every time we lose life points, the blades get closer and closer, and when we run out, our legs get cut off. So that's where all the
Oh
missing
no,
duelists have gone.
that's not very hoppy for you.
What?
Not very hoppy for you, is it?
No, it's not.
Have you heard of Ijbol?
What?
Ijbol. IJBOL.
No.
This is supposedly the replacement for LOL.
Right, what does it stand for? Wait,
Well,
what are the letters? What are the letters again?
IJBOL.
No, I don't know. What?
I just burst out laughing.
Right.
What a ridiculous fucking thing.
Laugh out loud is so simple.
It is. Apparently, it's these people are saying that it's a thing that's happening, and then these other people are saying, "Look, that's not what's happening at all."
Oh
So
no.
I don't know what's going on. I don't know what to believe.
It
I've not seen it
isn't.
anywhere but the news articles asking what Isbal was. So clearly, it's not a mainstream thing.
Well, no, it'll be mentioned a few times and they'll have seen it. It won't catch on. We got a Dark Magician. I actually really like that artwork. It looks pretty cool.
I missed it.
Oh no, now we have to save him. Well, we've saved
On
him.
what? Saw
On
blades?
the blade, yeah. But his shadowy master is here. He's possessed him. And now he's
Oh no.
dead.
Oh well.
So, yeah.
Sucks to be him.
And he's gone. So, if we go back out, this always amused me. This guy just sort of takes over. Yeah, the boss got sick and now I'm in charge. Um, but he's still got the basement, so I guess he could rent it out for like kink stuff.
Oh, I don't know. It's a bit dangerous. You
Well,
don't want an Iron Maiden in the corner if you're doing kink stuff, because invariably someone's going to get hurt.
also that's not how an Iron Maiden works, is it?
No, but it's meant to be an Iron Maiden, isn't it?
Because there's spikes on both sides.
It's meant to. Hang on. What if what's happened is they've got two and they've lost the inside bits.
Yes, they had two, and there was a mistake when they ordered it from
Which
from Wish. They were sent two doors instead of two backs, or a
yeah.
back and a door, and they're making the best of it.
No,
Got your suit of
the
armor and
entire
a guillotine. It looks like it's like a guillotine.
this whole room does not scream kink to me. Then it
No,
screams death trap. As a man who is aware of kink, no, I don't think
it's
this
a
is
pretty neat
suitable.
hourglass.
Nah,
You could use that to time customer sessions. I don't know.
no one wants to be watching the clock.
Let's go
You want to be having fun.
a little torture with it. I don't know.
Nah, it's a bit dark for
Yeah.
my.
So, are you gonna fight me yet? No, you're not. You're still pissing about you. Right.
God, what a loser.
I don't even remember what we do next. The mime's still here, so it's not that.
Do we save?
Yeah, we'll save the game. I don't know where we go.
We found it.
It's you. Oh,
Ah,
hello, innocent person. I am just a man. That's the villain. Stanley, I ain't gonna spoil it.
oh, I was looking forward to finding out who the bad guy was. That's a
Hey.
lie.
So, we'll clear out these people and then we'll call it because we've been going for a while.
I saw something today on the news
Yeah.
about a modern day descendant of a slave owner
Oh, I saw that too.
who doesn't want to be named in some TED talk about it.
I saw she was a former MP,
Yep.
and I knew, before I even clicked the article, I thought, I bet she's a Tory. What do you know? It's Tory.
See, I don't know where I stand on this.
I do.
How do you know where I stand on this if I don't know where I stand on it?
Well, I know where I stand on it.
All right, and where do you stand on it?
Well, I think she should. I think she doesn't have a right to privacy in this instance. It's a matter of record. Her
I mean,
family owned slaves. she indirectly has profited from that. That's just a fact.
Okay, okay, but I I understand that argument
Yeah.
and I get it, but I don't necessarily know if I agree with it.
Okay, go on. In what way?
Well, I think it's not her fault,
No.
and it's important, I think, for it to be made acknowledged that it's not her fault. And if there is, if anyone is outright saying, "Hey, this person is descended from slave traders,"
Yeah.
there seems to be an element of responsibility for that there, even though we all know that really it's not their fault, is it? But it still feel like there's an air of responsibility for it.
I think if you've gained from something, you can't distance from yourself from something that has benefited you. Really, I don't think. I
You see,
understand.
I don't know my ancestry enough to say. I mean, I'm assuming, but I'm not descended from slave owners. But I
Oh,
don't know.
but you're
But
not.
I'm not. I'm hoping I'm not, but I
Well,
don't know that I'm not.
well, you see, if she was descended from slave owners, and there's a bit of money there, and there's connections there, and these things bleed down into the next generation.
Yeah,
You
but
know,
I
you
mean,
are inherit. You're not
families fall out of favour, don't they?
Well, yes, they do, but so what? Not in this instance, you know. Um,
No, no, but that's why I'm saying I don't know for sure that I'm not because
well, no, well,
I
yeah,
don't know where it's far enough back to,
but you know
just
what I
because.
mean. I mean, fun. We're not going to make any progress until we start coming to terms with like really difficult fucking questions and doing some serious introspection. And I get why we don't like doing that because it's difficult and it's unpleasant and it's not particularly nice and it's easier just to tackle the surface stuff and just ignore, you know, the fact we might have benefited from terrible things and maybe we should think about that and you know that we're not where we are because of hard work, that there are other factors involved, you know.
Okay, I know what you're saying. I don't disagree with you on that. I think there's some of this feels like a much more grey area than it should be.
uh, in what way?
Again, like I say, naming and shaming modern day people just feels a bit iffy to me still.
I don't know whether we're shaming anybody.
Well, I would say there is an element of shame in there.
I mean, there is, but I mean, I don't. No, I don't think any reasonable person is going to go. This is your fault. You should definitely apologise
But
for this.
but
But I
people
think we need to come to terms with the fact that this is you know you are descended from slave owners. You have benefited from this, albeit very indirectly.
there, there was a bit of a scandal recently in when
Mm.
Rishi Sunak said that he wasn't going to be apologising for the UK government's role in the slave trade.
Oh yeah, we love to cling on to the fact that we led the abolition movement, but it's not
I
like we
just
didn't benefit enormously from
well, I
it.
know, but what I'm saying is there are people out there who think that modern day people need to be apologising for it, and that's again by naming these people, you open them up to being targeted, being coerced into apologising for it.
Well,
Like,
so fucking what?
well, it's not their fault, is it?
Well,
You know, it's not. They've not actively done anything. They're just they're a victim of their lineage.
well, I mean, in a sense, yeah, but you can't. And as I say, they benefited from it. You know, you can't distance yourself from something that's so intrinsic to you that you benefited from it. You may not have been instrumental in it at the time, and I don't think you should feel guilt, but you need to, you know, we all need to come to terms with these aspects of ourselves. And I think the British government should apologise for our role in the slave trade because it's not like these things don't still have an impact. You know,
Hmm.
the idea that, okay, the slave trade ended, right, we're all fine now, everything's fine. You know, it is a ripple effect. If your parents were slaves, you weren't a slave. Okay, great, but you know what? That's still going to have an effect. Your chances in life are not going to be as promising. and it bleeds on to the next generation, the next generation, the next generation. It has a ripple effect. We can't pretend that these things exist only in their time. You
No,
know?
no, and we shouldn't exist pretend that they only exist only in the time.
No.
But again, it feels an iffy situation to me. I can't explain my stance on it any more than it feels iffy to me.
Yeah. Well, I know you see where I'm coming from, and I see where you're coming from. Um, but I think we've been going long enough on this. We've made some good progress. It's very the balance of when you get locator cards is just ridiculous in this game. Um, I think we'll get our last one pretty soon. We'll definitely get our last one in the next video. We could finish this within 3 videos. I don't know. We'll have to see. I think
Oh, exciting!
I think the deck I've put together is pretty good, and I'm going to keep updating it. Um, so yeah, I guess we'll see you on the next one.
Bye, everyone. Look forward to it.
Bye. Bye.